This is the GTS Series 2 from MVH Studios, and it has a unique feature. In fact, it has a couple of unique features. It arrives like this, requiring a little bit of self-assembly. These are the parts out of the box, so this is as much as you need to do. You need to basically attach your paddle shifters to it, and we have some hubs here. Now, the reason why it requires a little bit of self-assembly is because it can be used in two ways. Now, the first way is I can use it as a third-party wheel, like any third-party wheel you can buy. Comes with a USB cable, you plug it into your PC, runs to the button box, so you map those controls in-game, as you would expect. However, the second option is to attach this to a Logitech wheelbase, so a G29, a G920 or G923, and it comes with the mounting equipment for that as well. So it can be used in two ways, directly onto a Logitech wheelbase. I'll go through that in a moment because there's another aspect I need to actually tell you. Is this display here is for taking card telemetry, so you'll see in-car data coming through to this display here, this screen. However, it doesn't go through the USB cable. It's powered by the USB cable, but it doesn't take the actual data connection. This display is over Wi-Fi. Now, the reason for that is it works with both PC games and also console games. So it depends on the console game though, so not all console games will support telemetry outputs, but console games will support telemetry outputs over basically your home network, which is why this is a Wi-Fi display. And which is why it also works over Wi-Fi on your PC as well. So it's just a single unit that will support both in one simple method. So that's how that works. Very interesting. So to attach this to my PC, I have this hub here. And if we look at the back, there's a little socket there that goes into there. And we have a socket off here that runs the cable to my PC. As I said, that will power the display and also the buttons and the controls here. So just standard like USB button box, but the display will be over Wi-Fi. Now for my Logitech wheelbase, we don't need this, but we do have this mounting apparatus. But if you take the wheel off your Logitech wheelbase, poking out of the steering column will be a plug which will fit this socket here. So it's a complete pass-through. And so what will happen is it will map these buttons to the original buttons on the Logitech wheel. So you don't need to do anything, it will just work as normal. So that's going to work with your Logitech wheelbase. And it will also actually power that display here. Though, as there is no sort of like a data pass-through from the Logitech wheelbase, of course, that's why you still need that Wi-Fi connection for the data. And again, that's why it's going to also work with consoles as well. So a very unique piece of hardware that you can work with both standalone or PC, also work on your Logitech wheelbase, and also works with console games. Hopefully that makes sense. It is kind of a lot to sort of take in, but it is an interesting piece of hardware. It means something like, if you buy this and added it to your Logitech wheelbase, later on you might want to upgrade to a better, more powerful, higher torque wheelbase, like a direct drive wheelbase, and therefore you can then take this off and then use it over there. So it is transferable, which is quite unique, quite clever stuff. So let's take a closer look at what we have here. So largely this is 3D printed, so let me bring this up. Also note actually in transit when arriving to me, it did take a little bit of damage, so the surround on this button did crack, it is broken. I mean, this is a review unit, so it doesn't bother me, but this is how it did arrive, unfortunately. So I thought I'd point that out because you might mention it in the comments. But 3D printed, very nice 3D prints. So good high resolution print, so very close layers, so it's very smooth all around. The buttons here, just quite nice, bit of tactile there. These are not 360-degree rotating dials, they are simply sort of left and right. And so these are not proper dials, they're sort of just spring-loaded, sort of left and right switches effectively. And there's a button there which I'm assuming is for changing the display on there. So flipping through different dashboard displays. I haven't used it, so I don't know for sure, guys. That's what I'm thinking. And I can see a shiny plate there, which does pick up dust and fingerprints. So you can see there already it's taking my fingerprint there. But overall, yeah, looking very, very nice. I've got this bracket here, so that's for mounting, you know, this to the wheel that comes with it. So this is a 32 centimeter diameter wheel, wrapped with a basically fake type of leather. But very nice, lightweight as well, which is good. So deep dish. So when we put that together, you can see it runs pretty flush, rather than the actual button box sticking out. We have paddle shifters with carbon fibre handles on the end, so magnetic, again 3D printed and printed to a very nice standard there. Looking good. And they basically hook up to the back of the frame here, and these are the wires for the shifters here. And you've got these little things that go to the back. How do these go on together? They go around like that, so it just sort of protects and hides the cables behind the actual wheel itself. That's what those are for. So obviously 2 paddle shifters. Since this is a heavier and larger wheel compared to the original one on the Logitech wheelbase, we get this to help support it, to ensure that you can't damage it. So once you've taken off the wheel off your Logitech wheelbase, you stick this on the front, and the steering column from the wheelbase sticks out of there. So it's double-sided tape there. So front of the wheelbase, that sticks on there. So it is shaped to just fit on the front. And we also have this. So this is a Teflon slip ring, and this is just a chunky piece of 3D printed plastic. And essentially it will be up against your wheelbase like that. And this is essentially attached to the back of the wheel like that. So that's how it basically goes up against your Logitech wheelbase, providing a larger surface area and extra support. So yeah, very smart inclusion, since it could be a bit of a worry when you're adding a larger, heavier wheel onto your Logitech wheelbase. It could fatigue it. It could break it over time. So this is there to add that support. So there you go. So 2 ways you can use it on your PC using this, or directly onto a Logitech wheelbase using that. Then of course you add your paddle shifters and all that sort of stuff, and it all comes together. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's my first look at the new GTS Series 2 from MVH Studios. A really interesting bit of kit, very unique, and does 2 things: console, PC compatible, standalone, and also Logitech wheelbase compatible. So pretty smart stuff. So very, very clever. So at the time of making this video, this pre-production version I have may not entirely reflect the final versions that's going out to customers. So there may be slight improvements, slight changes that are probably minor things, so nothing to really worry about. So just best I mention that just in case you buy it and it doesn't look exactly like this, but I'm assuming it's going to be virtually identical, but I do need to tell you that. Right now, this is not a product which is shipping now. It is available on pre-order, so you can reserve it, buy it now, and it will ship very soon. I have a reasonable idea when this is going live, when it's going to be available to customers, but it is obviously a provisional date. I don't know if it's going to be absolute, so it is soon. But the best thing to do is, if you're unsure, contact them directly. It's not for me to give you this information, because I don't really know exactly when it's going to be available, so be aware of that. But yeah, you can check out the website, check out the price, check out more details. Hopefully I've covered it pretty well in this video, in this unboxing, to give you a good idea of the functions of this and how it works. I don't know all of the ins and outs of it. I haven't assembled it properly. I haven't tested it, of course, and I haven't looked at the instructions properly on how you get that display to work over Wi-Fi, but I'm sure it won't be too difficult. But I'll cover this in the review. In my review, I'll also show you the standalone setup, and also set up on a Logitech G29. So I'll strip down my G29 and set it up on there, and I'll show you, how that went, and that will be covered in my review coming very soon. So stay tuned for that. But that's it for this one, guys. Hope you found this one interesting. I certainly did. It's a really unique product. I kind of like it for that alone. Drop comments below the video, and stay tuned for more, of course. Okay, so that's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, happy simming, and bye-bye.